And we're off. What's up, everybody? Welcome to my footage of the Cats Hill Classic. Here we are. I'm excited. I gotta say, this was the most fun I've had on a bike in a while. It was definitely type 2 fun, but it was fun nonetheless. And yeah, let's get into this bit of a spicy race. So before I start, I just want to say thank you to everyone that subscribed and is watching the videos. Super flattered. I hope you all are enjoying it. If you aren't subscribed, I guess like subscribe. They always say like it helps the channel out, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, big shout out to San Jose Bike Club. They put this race on and I know how hard they worked. And yeah, we were stoked to be here. So thanks to those guys. So here we are going up Cats Hill. This is it. This is the main feature of the course. So it's like a 20-30 second hill. Here's some footage of the P12 women tackling it. And here's us. Everyone's all over their bikes and things. I think the women look a little smoother. But yeah, you are hitting that hill every 2 minutes or so. So big props to anyone that showed up to this race, because it's not for the faint of heart. This is even if you got dropped, even if your race didn't go super well, you have my respect just lining up, because this ain't a race for those guys that are allergic to the front or just like to sit in, because there's no place to hide with a 23% hill on the course. So a little bit of background on this race in case you're not from NorCal. This is one of those storied crits. It's been going on for I guess this was the 46th running of it. So there's a Cats Hill website, so you can go check this out for yourself. But the people that win here, they go on to do some good things. The main name that stands out is Greg LeMond. You may have heard of him. I guess depending on your philosophy, maybe the only American winner of the Tour de France. So yeah, he's a big one. Ben Jacquemain. I could go on and on. There's tons of amazing, gifted riders that have won here, and yeah, it attracts a solid field. This was, I was looking around in the race, and I think this is kind of the cream of the crop for the P12 field here in NorCal. We had the normal players and Mike's Bikes and Project 74 and Performance Bike, all those dudes. But it also kind of attracts these wild card guys. So people like Tobin Ortenblad, who's a professional cyclocross racer. He's a super talented dude. Cody Kaiser, another pro cyclocross guy. I actually raced against those two in high school way back when, and they were a lot faster than me then, and they still are faster than me. But let's see, who else? Nate English was here. He's a former professional. He's actually in Phil Guyman's Draft Animals book. I think he was mentioned a few times. Crazy Watt Monster guy. I guess Roman was actually in that book. I like that book. I know Phil Guyman is polarizing, but I thought it was an entertaining read. You should check it out if you haven't. Let's see, who else was here? I don't know. I could go on and on. It had some scary dudes. I think almost everyone that lined up could win this race. So yeah, the course that hill is the main feature, obviously, and this was my first time doing it, so I had my trial by Cats Hill Fire. And before the race, I was talking to people, and people say, oh, it's a climber's race, or oh, it's a sprinter's race, because that effort is pretty sharp. It's only like a 20-second, maybe 30-second effort with the false flat in there. So a sprinter guy that can recover on the other sections of the course could do well here as well. But my main takeaway is, I think this is like a momentum conservation course. So yeah, I'm gonna inject my nerdiness. So what I mean by that is obviously the hill dominates everything, and the amount of power that you put out on the hill is really dictated by how much speed you can carry into it. So this course rewards somebody that knows how to take quick, fast lines into this left-hand turn that we're going through right now. And it rewards somebody that stays at the front, because usually you're not going to get balled up in the accordion effect as much. So yeah, hopefully I can show some examples about how I try to conserve my momentum, and we'll have some times that I did it well and sometimes I didn't do so well. So yeah, let's get into this and hopefully learn something. And honestly, the lessons in this crit, it's a unique crit, but they apply to any crit with, some technical turns and some spots where you need to conserve your momentum. All right, so we just jumped up only a couple seconds, and my teammate Matt just passed me on the left, and he said, "What's up?" We actually didn't see each other in the beginning of the race, and then all of a sudden, boom. So he got tangled up with RJ from Mike's Bikes and went down, and it was a bummer. I was kind of worried about him because it looked like he hit a tree, and he did. And I'm glad to say that the tree got the worst of it. He was okay, and I think RJ was okay. But yeah, we lost Matt, and Matt features in my videos quite a bit. He's super strong. He's our team captain. So yeah, that was a big bummer to lose him so early on in the race. So what was going on is it would get pretty strung out of that last corner. And then coming into this right-hand turn, it would oftentimes bunch up. There's a bit of wind. I put that arrow up there. It was kind of like a cross headwind on the start-finish straight. And yeah, I think Matt, those times when the field bunches up, it's pretty sketchy because that's when people are going to try to move up. We all watch Jeff's videos, and he always says move up when it's slow. But it's hard when everyone is spread across the road and is diving in and out and trying to ride in the gutter. So this Mike's Bikes rider in front of me is Ryan. So if you watched my last land park Criterium video, he smoked me. So he was someone that we were looking out for, and especially on a course like this. So Ryan, the story on him is he was a big mountain biker, and like I mentioned, I think mountain bikers and cyclocross racers are super good at conserving their momentum. It's a huge part. A lot of those mountain bike courses and cyclocross courses are super punchy, obviously, and the more momentum you conserve, the better, or the less punch you have to put out. So this was a pretty good course for him. He was going into this, I was thinking he was gonna have a good crack at the win. So conserving your momentum for the hill is obviously super important, but it's not the only spot in the course where it makes a difference. So this turn that we're coming into right now is a pretty fast right-hand bend, and it was important to carry speed through it because you're coming into this downhill, and the further you are off somebody, the worse draft you get. And draft is exponentially more important the faster you go. So we're hitting like 40 miles an hour each time. So if you were out of the draft, it really felt terrible. And the other thing is, if you didn't take a good line through that corner and carry speed, you would have to spike up in power to keep in the draft. And I know a lot of people, like Max, I read your Strava thing. He felt like he was going backwards on the downhill, and while everyone else is coasting, and I totally feel that because I felt the same thing some laps. And I think it's just it's an old adage for mountain bikers that it's not your corner entry speed, it's your corner exit speed. So basically all that means is you're trying to carry as much speed out of the turn as opposed to carrying speed into the turn. So it's kind of a technique thing. It's like a cornering drill, but yeah, just momentum conservation is such a elemental skill for Criterium racing, and it was really, really important for this one. All right, so I'm going to use this moment coming up as an example of poor momentum conservation on my part. So I'm moving up on the inside. That's Nate English in front of me, and he just did a little spike of power to jump through on the inside. And I was doing this quite a bit in the race. I was trying to take the inside and hit the apex, but I kind of got pinched off there and had to like grab a little bit of brake. And you're gonna see the absolute power isn't that high, but it's the duration that's killer. So that was, I looked at Strava actually, that was the longest over 1000 watts that I did the entire race. It was right there. So taking the inside line, it's kind of a risk reward thing. You might move up like 5 or so spots in that section, but you're running the risk of getting pinched off and giving up momentum. So as you can see, and yeah, if you keep doing that in the race, you're gonna pop. There's just nobody. Maybe if you're Wout Van Aert or whatever, you could keep doing that effort, but for someone like me, that it's not sustainable. I have to really try to keep more speed through the corner and not have to use as many watts. All right, so I'm coming through the start finish straight, and something feels funky on my bike. So I kind of do a little bunny hop, and I feel my front tire is soft. So yeah, you just heard me say I got a flat. I put my hand up, and this this sucks. But I have some pit wheels, so I'm gonna swoop over here and take this little alleyway over to my pit wheels. All right, so I get my wheel on. I'm all good. It was kind of a bit of a mess. I got flustered. So I have a disc brake bike, and my discs were kind of tangled in the spokes, so my wheels were kind of stuck together. Oh, and don't mind the power. I think it's just like Garmin Verb freaking out because I'm not doing anything. But yeah, it took me a little bit to get my wheels unstuck, and I missed 2 climbs, so it was basically like a lap and a half free, but it was stressful. And yeah, I could see some people being like, oh, you gotta rest, and while that is true, it was I would much rather have not had a flat and just been racing normal and do those 2 extra climbs, because I got pretty flustered. It took me a little bit to compose myself, and as you can see, I'm way at the back, and this is like danger zone for this race because people are going to be blowing up left and right. So I think I'm going to try to do a good corner here and move up on this hill to get back into at least the mid pack. And yeah, I definitely do a little bit more watts than normal. So we're still only about halfway in this race. So I got my new wheel, and this kind of sucks. So I think my discs on my disc brake bike are slightly different spacing or something. So you can hear that's my disc rubbing, and yeah, it's making a lovely sound. So after the race, it definitely was rubbing. It wasn't like a huge, like it was seized or anything, but yeah, I don't know. Disc brake bikes are cool, but they are a bit of a faff. All right, so we're coming through. It said 10 laps to go on the lap cards. So I'm starting to think about, okay, how am I going to play this? And I think Cam Piper is on the front, and he's driving it like normal. And I messed my line up there and have to go into the gutter where there was some gravel, and you can really see it in the video, but my tire did slide. So I was awake after that one to to say the least. But yeah, I'm starting to think about I don't know, how to play this. I definitely want to move up, and I want to make it as efficient as possible, but honestly, I'm feeling pretty burnt by this point. I know I'm gonna finish. I'm not like worried about getting dropped, but I'm thinking unless something really comes together, it's gonna be tough for me to be up there for the final laps. But let's see how I do. So with about 5 to go, I was at the front. I was about like fifth wheel, and I held that for a couple laps, but I got swarmed on the hill, and I also got swarmed in this section right here. This is where you would really get shuffled back. So everybody is we're coming down to it. It's yeah, 3 laps to go, and people are really starting to jump up. So my plan for this lap was I was gonna try to not burn it too hard on the hill, and then do a little bit extra here, and I move up a bunch of spots, which is great. But yeah, this is it's costing energy and it's hard. But I link up with my teammate Zach, and we were talking to each other, and he was like, what's the plan? And I was just like, yo, if you get a chance, just go for a late race flyer. Because honestly, it's not really a course where you can lead out, really. And he was riding super strong, and he was saying that he was feeling good, so you might as well roll the dice. All right, so only 2 laps to go. We're really coming down to it, and everyone is tired. Everyone is muscling the bike more and more up this hill, and so we're going in, and I'm trying to move up a little bit maybe. And David from Altavelo goes down there. I think someone maybe hooked his bars, and then he, the CS Velo dude, kind of fell into my handlebars. So it was hectic, and I stayed up, and I looked behind, and that caused like a little split actually. I wish I had a rear camera, but this kind of is the select group going into the finish here. And I'm looking around, and there's Greg McCulloch is right there in the black skin suit, so he's incredibly strong. And there's Tobin, who is up there. So I'm liking my spot here. All right, Zach just asked, Travis, how are you? And he said, good. And I'm like, bro, how are you good? They were doing this damn hill again, 100 watts. But so this is the second to last hill. We have 1 more to go. So at this point, my plan is just, I'm gonna nuke it as hard as I can up the last hill, see where I am, and go from there. All right, last lap, here we go. So I should say there's $1,200, $1,200 prize pool that San Jose Bike Club put together. So I'm sure everyone is thinking about that a little bit, but this is crunch time here, and it's a it's a doozy of a last lap. So we're coming in to the last little hill, and I got shuffled back, honestly, and I'm sort of bummed out because I'm thinking like my chance of winning the race is pretty low. But I'm leaving a little gap here, and I'm gonna try to come in and take a really good hill, and I do actually. I thought, like, look at this, bam, 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 and I'm up on Tobin Ortenblad's wheel right there. So look at this. This is perfect. I'm liking it. But I think it just took a few matches to do that, and they were probably my last one. So I find myself on Travis's wheel. This is cool. And watch this. This was the moment to win the race. So we come over, and I think there was an attack that maybe got brought back right here, and it just bunches up. And I just say, go, go, go to my teammate Zach. And he leads it out into this downhill as Travis gets bumped off right there. That was scary, and that kind of spooked me a little bit. But I believe Zach is leading it out down this hill, but he has Ryan from Mike's Bikes on his wheel, and you saw him just open up his sprint, and he's gonna rip it for this last corner. And he goes through first with Tobin on his wheel, you can see, and Ryan ends up winning. And I try to light up my sprint, but man, I did did a lot of sprints. So super congrats to Ryan from Mike's Bikes. Like, honestly, amazing ride. He he's such a nice guy. If he wasn't a nice guy, I would be like kind of bummed that he's winning and beating the crap out of all of us, but he's really cool, and he is an amazing rider. I think his mountain bike background and cornering ability came in through spades or with spades for this. And yeah, props to them. Props to Mike's Bikes. But way to go, everyone that did this race. It was pretty brutal. I think I did, if you're interested, 350 normalized for the hour. It's definitely a high normalized race. So yeah, I had fun. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and stay tuned for the Santa Cruz Classic Criterium video, which was the next day, and it's another hilly crit, not as hilly as this one, but yeah, we took our licks this weekend. So see you guys in the next one.